I don't know, I don't want to keep making the same thing over and over and over again.
Okay, then don't. It's not that simple. Why? Well, because a lot of things. Can you hand that to me? Here. Like what? You wouldn't get it. This one or this one?
Try me. Okay, well, for starters, as someone born at the age of the internet, I grew up alongside this world and can barely remember a life without it. Bizarre, I know, but I feel like that's part of the reason why I just feel exhausted. Does anyone else feel the same way? I mean, this internet fatigue and being sick of seeing the same thing, the same advice, the same content, copy of a copy of a copy, a million different versions of the same style or the same topic. And don't even get me started on AI slop or I will literally combust.
Bruh.
What even is the point in trying to create art in the world that seems to favor and reward the mediocre? Why should I choose to journey through the stress, the strife, the struggle, and the uncertainties if I could be farther off by selling my soul and contributing to the corruption of the minds and the attention of the people? Is it so wrong to keep making the same thing? Year 5. Hear the broom scratching the pavement. The warmth of the wind blows through the long curtains in the living room. The faint noises from the television as your grandparents watch the news. You're 7. And there's nothing more exciting than hearing your dad's footsteps as he comes home from work. That early evening smell as your mom prepares dinner. You're 10. And it's raining. Classes are canceled and you get to spend the entire day watching movies and playing games with your brother. That feeling of being in the back seat as the sun kisses your face and you drive through the trees. That excitement and anticipation of seeing your friends again after a long summer. That magic in the air as you watch your favorite artist perform. You see memories like moments are frail and fleeting, unreliable and untrustworthy. If I write this down, I'll remember. If I record, I'll have something to come back to. If I draw or I paint, I'll look more closely and find what's beautiful. If I listen to music, it'll turn into the kind of sadness that I can swallow, or a kind of joy that expands. And if I take photos, I'll find the stories through the moments I choose to preserve, and they can remain with me forever. Art is the way that I keep things alive, how I relish and linger. I create and it matters because I forget. And this is how I remember. Aside from that, I think that there's just something magical about working on something creatively. You get to challenge yourself and squeeze out who you are, what you know of the world, how you see it, and what you make of it, and pour it into this thing that you make. And so when the Hanser reached out with another opportunity to test out their new product, the Hanser Desktop, I was very excited. 1, because I already love and use the Hanser, and 2, because I used to really like taking photos, but sort of fell out of love with it. So this would be a nice way to rekindle that flame. If you don't already know, the Hanser is a film emulation plugin you can use to mimic the film look. But recently, they came out with a standalone app version that you can use to edit your photos. So that is what we're going to do today. By the way, if you want to check out if this is for you, they do have a demo version that you can try and download. And if you do end up liking it, you can use my code IRISHILE10 to get 10% off. Now, onto the workflow. When you open it up, it looks fairly simple, not confusing or overwhelming at all. You have the files and folders, then you have the projects. What I do love about this is that it has a rating feature like in Lightroom, which makes it easier for you to choose your photos. For example, I have this entire folder of photos here. I could click spacebar to preview and then rate and simply click next and do this until you have all the photos that you'd like to edit. Then let's go to projects. add a project, and go back to Files. Now you can filter out the photos you rated by going to Files, select the 5-star only, then you can select all by pressing Ctrl A, right-click, add to project, and add it to the one that you just created. From here, select all the items again, right-click, and edit. That easy. Now comes the fun part, which is editing the photos. On the side, you have all the presets, and one of the things I pointed out on my other Dehancer video is that it's a bit of a hassle to preview the presets or film profiles. But now, not only do they have previews, you can also press the down button to test out the different filters and see quickly and easily which ones you prefer. I know that's such a small thing, but for someone like me who's indecisive and can get easily overwhelmed, it really is a huge help. Not only that, I can add the presets I like to favorites so I don't have to go through every single one of them again. It works similarly with the plugin. You can make adjustments here on the side. Personally, I like to keep it simple. I make slight adjustments on the exposure and temperature if I have to. I also like to play around and test things out like the push and the pull. Sometimes I add a bit of contrast and color boost. And I almost always add film compression, just to dial down those sharp whites or highlights. For print, I noticed that this can also give you different effects, so I like to play around with that until I get close to the style that I want. I always add grain. I would say that the grain in the Dehancer is just unmatched. It definitely looks more realistic than other ones I've tried, and I've tried a lot. I think that's it. Bloom and halation sometimes too, but often they're already applied in the presets, so I don't even have to touch that. Another nice thing is that you're able to copy and paste edits. You can do it one by one or apply to the entire film strip, or you can select multiple photos you'd like to apply those edits on and paste them. Here are some of the before and after edits if you'd like to see how the photos turned out. Now for my honest thoughts on Dehancer. Again, they aren't paying me to say any of this. They just want me to share my workflow and give them some feedback. So just a heads up, I'm also not a professional photographer or editor. I do this solely because I enjoy the art of it. But yeah, I really like how easy it was to use and to navigate. Even if you haven't used any photo editing software or apps before, you can easily use this and not get intimidated or discouraged. I really also like the way you can preview the filters and how you can switch between them easily. I think that is an absolute game changer. And lastly, I feel like it can be very hard to find apps or softwares that can mimic film in this way. And you can trust me on this because I have tried a lot of apps. I think that Dehancer really knows what it's doing and really understands film. One thing that I wish that it had though was a way to edit the basic adjustments like highlights, shadows, or even a basic curve, because I found that the filters tend to push the shadows a bit, so it would be nice to have something to even that out. I think the crop could also use a basic tilt so that you can level out some unevenness or crookedness in the photos. But overall, I really like using the photo editor. I will be using it and abusing it, and I can't wait to experiment with my photos. If you want to give me a follow, I'm also on Instagram. I will link it in the description box below. And yeah, again, if you want to check out Dehancer, you can use my code IRASHYLLE10 to get 10% off all Dehancer products. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.